Counterpunch Boxing, what's up YouTube? Okay, check it out. This is one of those videos that is completely unplanned, unrehearsed, just, doing what you guys do, going through YouTube and, checking out what's out there. But, okay, I came across a video and I was like, man, like, I have to respond to it. I have to talk about it. I got to let it out, and thank God I have a YouTube channel. Okay, you got Daniel Jacobs. Now, go back just a short period ago, you all remember the Daniel Jacobs-Gennady Golovkin fight. Okay, now you have this dude that is, I mean, look, he's making a fool of himself is what he's doing. I mean, I always say a good champion, they know how to lose and they know how to win. It's, you win some, you lose some. But what he's doing now is he's going around making a ton of excuses, really just dragging Golovkin's name through the mud and just making some just flat out ignorant and false accusations against Gennady Golovkin. Okay, now, let me just kind of go over what just went down in this interview, all right? He said, look, I watched it 100 times, and everybody said I won the fight by 1 or 2 rounds, okay? And then he said, I got robbed, all right? And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, is this dude for real? Like, is he serious? Like, he really thinks he got robbed? Okay, and then he said, you saw the best Jacobs, but not the best Gennady Golovkin. Now, I'll get to what I think in a minute here, okay? But I want to continue, telling you what was said in this recent interview, okay? He says, what fighter do you know that has that lost a fight on paper but gets so much praise and respect and is treated like the champion from everybody? Me, because, basically everywhere he goes, people are like falling at his feet, talking about how he's the champion, he won the fight, and everybody knows it, and, he got robbed, okay? And then he went on to say, you didn't see the boogeyman that night. You didn't see this middleweight killer. There's a monster in the middleweight division. We've all heard the soundbite. You didn't see that night. And he talked about, I dismantled and exposed him, all of his flaws. I won the fight. I mean, this guy said, I dismantled and exposed Gennady Golovkin. Okay, I mean, it's like I said right after the fight. I mean, he thinks because he went 12 rounds with Golovkin, then he immediately won. I mean, that's not how it works in boxing. I mean, he's been in boxing long enough, he should know. But according to him, it's he hinted towards, there's some racism from the judges, and basically you've got to knock Gennady Golovkin out to win, on the scorecards, okay? And now he says, he's ducking me. I deserve a rematch. He's just running and hiding and blah blah blah. And by the way, Abel Sanchez kind of responded to that. He said, look, Jacobs, he needs to beat a Charlo. He needs to build a name up. He's lucky that he had the belt in the first place, and Gennady Golovkin took him on to begin with because he's not on Golovkin's level. And if anyone got exposed, it was Daniel Jacobs. And now, he's making a complete ass out of himself. I mean, he really is. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, you look at the fans that he won over, and he did. It was a good fight. He put up a good fight, but he clearly lost. But, he did. He won over, some new fans, and I was one of them. I said, yeah, I mean, I was kind of not really a Jacobs fan before, but after that, I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I mean, he won a new fan in me, but now it's completely gone. Talking all this robbery crap and, how he exposed Gennady Golovkin. So, he said, it should have at least been a draw. All I can do is not cry, but then I'm thinking to myself as you're crying about it. He said, hey, all I can do is not cry, not whine and piss and moan, and move forward. And then he was like, hopefully we'll get him, 3-4 fights down the road, but he'll probably be retired by then. So, and he said, I gave Gennady Golovkin 2 courtesy rounds, okay? According to Jacobs, he gave Golovkin 2 courtesy rounds. So, thank you, Daniel Jacobs. I'm sure Gennady Golovkin greatly appreciates that. He's basically saying that I took it easy on him 2 rounds because I was so ahead on the scorecards, I took it easy on him for a couple of rounds. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Like, What exactly what 2 rounds is this dude talking about? Because I'd love to go back and see it. You know, he's probably talking about the 2 rounds that he got his ass beat in, you know, but then he says, okay, the knockdown, you know, it really wasn't a knockdown. It's like everything Golovkin did, he tried to take away, and you don't do that. As a real champion, you don't do that. You know, you don't run around later, running your mouth and trying to dismantle everything someone else did to beat you. He even said the knockdown wasn't a real knockdown. He said, yes, I got hit, and you know, I was stunned, and I went down, but it wasn't really a knock. It's like you just described the definition of a perfect knockdown as you're telling me it's not a knockdown. You know, I got hit, I got hurt, I went down, but it's not a knockdown. I mean, what the fuck is it then? What do you call it if it's not a knockdown, you know? I mean, this dude is like, you know... Oh, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay. And then again, he said, you know, should have been a draw. And I made him reluctant, and he hesitated to let his hands go. They said that they were going to stop me in the 8th round. So, you know, I was waiting to see what he had in the 8th round, but he was timid, and I didn't see it, you know, because they said, you know, they predicted that Gennady will, you know, stop him in round 8. So he's like, you know, well, where's the boogeyman? I didn't see shit in the 8th round, you know, that kind of thing. And then he's like, well, you know, he thought in his head, you know, maybe he's just playing with me. You know, maybe he's about to really show me who Gennady Golovkin is, and it never happened. Okay, this is what Jacobs is saying, you know, and you know, the reporter that he was talking to, one of many. You know, you can tell he was a paid-off reporter. And let me tell you a little inside secret. What a lot of these guys do is they will either pay a reporter, you know, to just hype them up and, you know, give them any and all exposure they possibly can on their channel. Like, eventually I'll have guys approach me to do the same thing. And actually, I've already had one promoter, a local promoter that I'm working with now, actually. So I'm telling you, it happens. You know, so that's what these guys do. You know, they go around to different reporters, journalists, or whatever to hype them up. So you know you have these big channels out here, you know, especially the pro-black channels, you know, and I'm not, you know, saying anything negative towards them, whatever, but typically these are the channels that is doing this kind of shit. I mean, it goes all the way back to Mayweather. You had Mayweather paying off all kinds of people. I mean, look at Fight Hype. Come on. I mean, tell me that's not a biased channel. In a pro Mayweather channel. Well, there's a reason for it, because they get paid and they get, you know, they get the exclusive access. Okay, they get the exclusive interviews. So that's what happens when you nut hug on these guys. You know, you get to go in the front of the line and get your interview at any and every event. So that's why, you know, a lot of these guys are pushing this narrative that Jacobs was robbed, okay? Because, you know, they're simply on the payroll, or, you know, they're getting first dibs at interviews. So, of course, they're going to go along with the bullshit story. You know, so let me end with this. You know, if I could say anything directly to Jacobs, I would tell him, you know, look, you had a good fight. You know, you looked good. You won over a lot of new fans, but running around, you know, saying you exposed Golovkin and you gave him 2 rounds, you know, like because you felt bad for him, you know, because you know, he was embarrassed, so you wanted to give him. I mean, saying shit like that is ridiculous, and people can see right through it. Okay, they can see right through it. I mean, the truth is, Jacobs, you know, got you know, beat twice. The Latin Snake Mora knocked his ass down. Parag, you know, knocked him down. Okay, so, you know, gave an immediate rematch to Mora, you know, in order to duck other fighters, and then was given the opportunity of a lifetime, and he blew it. Okay, that's the truth. I mean, and it's not even that he blew it. He's just, Gennady Golovkin was the better man that night. So be a man and stop crying like a baby.